NHL props, NBA props, and our nominee for an Unbreakable Sports Record Hall of Fame. We're going back to the NFL, one of the best to ever do it. But does he make it into the Unbreakable Sports Record Hall of Fame? Welcome to the Road to Millions, Andy and Steve from WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com. We're going to go over quite a few little props and little plays, but the big thing, guys, it's $5 Appreciation Day over at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com. So we're each allowed to put up one play that's $5, and I've got a play up that's right now. So go take advantage of that one. You're not going to get a better price on a play. So those are the big things that are going on today on Wednesday. So a lot of good stuff, a lot of good plays up there. That's at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com. Let's just get into the sneaky play of the day, stat of the day, and then we'll get into some props. So, sneaky play of the day, I'm going James Van Riemsdyk over 1.5 shots on goal. They have not moved this to 2.5, which is why I love it. It's a little bit juicy. It's around a minus 145 mark. He's gone over in 5 straight games, over in 15 out of 19 games, and he's averaging 2.1 shots on goal on the season. So it's been a nice little play. Obviously, at the beginning of the year, we didn't know he was going to be hitting over 60%, but I like the matchup tonight because he's going up against the number one team in the league at not allowing shots on goal, and I think it's baked into the line. So I think we're getting a pretty fair price on over 1.5 shots on goal. I think that might scare a lot of people off. Not me. I'm going to go right at it. I think I may concentrate on Mr. Van Riemsdyk for a few games if they leave it at 1.5 shots on goal. So, sneaky play of the day. Look at James Van Riemsdyk over 1.5 shots on goal. Steve, you were doing stat of the day. You're going to the NFL. What do we notice?
So the Chiefs are 16-4-1 ATS in their last 21 games as an underdog, and they've won 15 of those games outright. And we know that they are 3.5-point underdogs this weekend in Baltimore. Should be a great game, but amazing record when they're underdogs. It's just amazing that they win outright in so many of these games as well when they're considered underdogs.
I don't understand 3.5. I guess I could see 2.5 or maybe 3, but 3.5, man. Giving it to Mahomes and giving it to Andy Reid, that seems kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
So anyways, guys, just a quick reminder, $5 Wednesday play of the day. That's up at WagerTalk.com. We're going to take a look at some NBA and some NHL props here. Let's go to the NBA first, Steve. What's a one game you wanted to talk about here?
Well, we can talk about LaMelo Ball and his points over. It's set really high at 27.5, which usually would make me stay away from it. But it's just such a great matchup. He's actually cleared this now in 9 of his last 10, and his usage just shoots way up now with Terry Rozier not involved anymore. Great matchup for him as well. Detroit ranks last in defensive rating, and they're also allowing the third most points. And he's been cooking since he's returned from injury, and without Rozier out there, he's just going to get a lot more looks tonight. So against a poor defense, I think that 27.5 is a number he could clear tonight.
Yeah, you like it coming off of a game where he only scored 18 points, but that's against Minnesota. It's top 2 defense in the league. So nice little value on LaMelo there tonight. What other game did you win? God, Charlotte, Detroit. What a awful game.
Yeah.
I mean, what a you have to I would say in order to watch that, you got to have a bet going on that game. But can you imagine taking the spread on either of those
right.
teams? It's
and feeling comfortable with either side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Actually, one of the other plays I really wanted to look at was actually going back to something we used to do, and it's a double parlay. I know this is something that you a couple seasons ago had a lot of success with, and it's Rudy Gobert and Jarrett Allen, two of the guys that are great, obviously, in this category for double doubles. Gobert's had a double double in 12 of his last 16 games, and Allen's had a double double in his last 12 games.
Wow.
You can get both of these guys together at plus 109, and they both have really solid matchups here. The Wiz allowing the most rebounds and the second most points in the paint, where Gobert is going to do all of his scoring. And then Jarrett Allen had 21 and 13 against Milwaukee not too long ago in his last head-to-head game against them, and playing only 25 minutes as well. So at plus 109 for these two guys, to just get a double double tonight. I really like the angle on this one.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I like it. I noticed Jared Allen's been on a tear, especially in the rebounding market. So had a nice. Yeah, I used one of his. He had a 14 rebound performance against the Clippers. He was gracious enough to show me that Anthony Davis was going to have a pretty good night rebounding last night. So, yeah, Jared Allen's been cooking Milwaukee. I mean, what do you think the collusion was on on talking to Doc Rivers before they decided to fire their coach? Is that about as dirty as it gets
Yeah,
for Milwaukee? Jesus.
yeah, unbelievable, huh? And just with the like, you don't usually see a coach just get fired with
For
such a
no
good
reason.
record. Yeah, yeah, great record, but
Yeah, yeah.
unbelievable.
So, all right. Any more games you wanted to talk about?
Just one more. I was gonna bring up Murray over 6.5 assists. So Trey Young's out, makes him the primary ball handler, and he only had 6 last game, but he had 18 potential assists. So you just need an extra bucket sunk by one of these guys that missed a shot for him, and he's playing Golden State tonight. They've allowed actually the second most assists over their last 10 games. So I also like Murray tonight over 6.5 assists.
I was. It's funny you bring up Dejounte Murray. I was looking at his rebounds over 5.5. Had 9 and 10 in his last couple games, and again, it's just this. It's the same thing without. I mean, without Trey Young, he's just out there. He's just out there on the
Yeah,
court for 40 plus minutes. So I was trying to look at something to do with Dejounte. I mentioned his assist last game, and he didn't come in, but yeah, he had a million chances to get over the total. I did think his points was pretty surprising. I mean, I guess though, you look at what's left after Trey Young. There's just not a lot of scoring on Atlanta. Good lord. I
yeah,
hit. We talked about the under in the last game, and I would have loved to have come back to it, but man, Golden State sucks on defense. They're terrible on defense. I'm sorry, they're just not good. So even though it was an under for Atlanta last game against Sacramento, I don't know. Golden State just I don't want to get near an over, but I will tell you, if you're looking at that game and you're looking at overs, Atlanta's been playing good defense and they're just not been good on offense. So
yeah. It's just really the assist play is just going to be reliant on him on guys sinking some buckets. He's the potential assists are going to be there. Even in the game prior without
sure.
Young, he had 20 potential assists. So I mean, he's just needed one extra bucket sunk by one of those guys in the last game, and he's like you said, Golden State not playing very good defense. So 6.5 seems like a number he can get to tonight.
I wonder if an alt line like maybe like over 9.5 assists at some really good 2-1 or 3-1 plus money or something because 18 potential assists that's going to turn into 9 or 10 assists one of these times. They're not
Yeah,
going to miss all those shots. So yeah, Dejounte Murray was another one. I looked at their team total. It's 113. I would lean the under. They only had 107 against against Sacramento the other night, and I was taking a look at some of their team totals, and they haven't even been getting close to that. Let me pull it up here real quick, Steve. While I'm doing that, why don't you tell everyone what you got up at sportsmemo.com today?
yeah. So my $5 play is also in the NHL. It's a play NHL player prop best bet, and I've been pretty low volume in the NHL, but I have cashed both my player props that I've posted for official plays in January. So looking to carry that over into tonight with the $5 play.
So we got Atlanta. They've scored 107, 95 in the last two games. And those were losses. Even in wins, they scored 109, 106, 109, and then before that, a loss, 99. That was to Washington. And then 108 Indiana. I mean, they're not even getting close to this number. That is 7 games in a row. They haven't come close to sniffing that team total. So it's on the road. Golden State's better at home than they are on the road. So maybe there is value in it. I guess I didn't realize that was on the road. So yeah, Atlanta Hawks. I think I'm still riding with some unders on that one. You just look at their starting lineup from the other night, man. Dejounte Murray has what do you have 35, and then Bogdanovich has 18. Their bench contributed only 19 points. They only had like 4 guys come off the bench and play. So this Hawks team might be in a bit of trouble here, especially if Dejounte Murray doesn't score a bunch of points. So, all right, that is your NBA and NHL props. And we did the sneaky play of the day, stat of the day. Let's get into the Unbreakable Sports Record Hall of Fame. So we're gonna go to Tom Brady, and I was looking, and we don't have any Tom Brady. We don't even. I don't think we've even done a nomination. So it's probably because he's got just so many, and it's like, well, which one do you focus on? So we'll focus on the conference championship. So what's this one about, Steve?
So it's about a player having the most conference championships appearance in histories. Brady's had 14, which pretty much dwarfs anyone else. I mean, first of all, he went 10-4 in those games, so turned those into 10 Super Bowl appearances. And it is crazy that you mentioned that we haven't really had any Brady stuff on this one. Like, we've had some suggested, and like you said, there's just so many different different records that he set. Actually, I think he just lost one, though. The Chiefs, we're going to be talking about them in this, but Mahomes and Kelsey set the all-time record for the quarterback receiver duo in the postseason for touchdowns, breaking Gronk and Brady's record. So looking into this, it's kind of ironic, not really though, because a lot of the players that are right behind are Patriot players. Gostowski has 10, McCourty has 8, Matthew Slater has 8. Behind the only other guys that are in the top, like underneath Brady, in this list are D.D. Lewis and Charlie Waters from the Cowboys. They had 9 each, so they're just behind Gostowski and Brady. And like we mentioned, like you just put up, Mahomes and Kelsey are now going to their 6th straight conference championship. So those are the contenders for the current guys that could actually maybe potentially catch up to Brady.
Yeah, so we got to figure out if going to 14 conference championships is going to be breakable or unbreakable. So, um, you got a couple things. Obviously, you got to be on an awesome team, and you got to be be really good in order to get there. And there's a lot of things that have to fall your way. Your division has to be good, or your division has to be bad, and then your conference, you have to have a good stranglehold on here. So you don't have to win them. That's the other thing is he went 10-4, but we're not really talking about the wins there. We're only talking about appearances. So
Yeah.
what do you think, Steve? Are we ever going to see a player? It doesn't have to be a quarterback. It could be any player. Is any player going to be able to make it to 14? What do you think?
So we bring up Mahomes and Kelsey, and obviously Kelsey isn't going to be going to 8 more conference championships. That I think that kind of
It's
goes
not.
without saying. Yeah, that's not happening. But Mahomes, this is his 6th straight. He's only 28. So we've seen Brady have that resurgence. He had that, obviously started out incredibly, but then had a little run there. There was a little lull where Brady and the Patriots weren't making, they weren't not as consistently as they were. They weren't making the postseason. And then we saw Brady have the resurgence in the second half of his career where he went to many more conference championships, including the one with Tampa Bay. I think that Mahomes is the guy to challenge this, obviously, right now, kind of the obvious choice, you know what I mean? But going to 6 straight and only being 28, he needs to get 8 more, well, so 9 more to
9
break
more.
it. It's a lot. It's a lot, but I think that Mahomes has the opportunity to do it based on his age.
Well, so Brady was the first guy to really push the I'm going to play till I'm 45. Like 20 years ago, this would you would never say that this was possible, but just the insane amount of advances in medicine and guys guys not guys spending insane amounts of money on their body. I mean, look at LeBron. It's been noted LeBron spends over $1 million per year on his body with food and everything, and it's worth it. And you're just seeing that in every single sport. Like 30 years, there's a great picture, Steve, of what they used to they would do this. They do this dinner right before the Masters.
Hmm.
The previous year's winner holds a big dinner for everyone that has won the Masters before. And if you look at pictures from like 30, 40 years ago, it's guys that just look like out of shape.
Yeah.
Like, and then you look at the one from like last year, and everyone's just like most of them are built, and like,
Cut.
yeah. And so it's kind of not fair to Brady because he did it, and now everyone else is just going to be following suit, and they're going to play 20 years, and so it's not just Mahomes. It's some of these other quarterbacks that are coming into the league now that know how to take care of their body. I would also add that just you can't touch quarterbacks. They're just not
Yeah.
absorbing hits. So the injuries are just hard to come by. And the other thing about Mahomes is in order for this to be broken, you have to have the perfect quarterback and coach combo, like it was Brady and Belichick, and then you got Mahomes and Andy Reid. And while those are hard to come by, that's all it takes, in my opinion, is if you get those two guys that are just married to each other, like for their entire careers. I can't put Brady making it to to all the conference championships because literally Mahomes in less than a decade probably is going to be close, if not there. Like, would this surprise you if he made it to 45 years old playing?
No, and that's the thing. That's the thing. Being only 28, that's why I give him so many chances at it. Still, I think that I wouldn't be surprised that he'll. I think he will play into his 40s. And if you look at it, he, he hasn't really. He hasn't really slowed down. I mean, the numbers haven't been there, but he also hasn't had the weapons. This season, and they're going to get him some more weapons. It just shows how great Tyreek Hill really was over there in that combination with him and Kelsey, and how just unguardable, how undefensible that combination really was. But Rice is there now, and he's kind of working into that secondary role, and they're going to be replacing the offensive talent at some point here, and just Mahomes is going to have a lot of chances at it. Unfortunately for me, I can't. We'll find one for Brady to get him into our Hall of Fame, but I don't know if it's going to be this one. And with football season winding down, I don't know how many more football unbreakable records we'll be doing.
Yeah, I mean Brady's got so many of them that it is interesting to find one that I think is just going to be difficult. But I mean the thing about Brady is he was the first to do all these, and everyone's just kind of like, they're the next ones. Like Mahomes got there, and he is got what? This is by far Kelsey's worst year. Like
Yeah,
as far as
hands down.
effectiveness and so like okay, so he did it with the worst wide receivers that he's ever had. He's got Kelsey who's on the downside, and he still made it. Like of all the complaining about the Chiefs season, they're still here. They
Yeah,
still
you
made
just
it.
every time you look up in the conference championship game, Mahomes, no matter what happens, he seems to wind up in it, regardless of the matchup or like you said, this season was the year that they seemed like they could get taken down, and not make it, but Buffalo couldn't get the job done.
No. So yeah, I'm trying. Like you look at the class of quarterbacks that are coming out. You got Caleb Williams. You got Drake May. Like it really is set up for one of these guys to come out of college and get paired up with, like I don't know the coach in the NFC that jumps out to me. It would be like maybe Sean McVay. If you get a guy like that who gets his hands on a elite quarterback
Yeah,
with Puka Nakua and Kyron Williams, and then you just build around it and build from there. I could see an elite coach getting someone like that. So while 14 is pretty impressive, is it unbreakable? I think it's breakable. Just you're gonna have these quarterbacks playing 20 years. I think that's gonna be kind of the new norm. Like even mobile quarterbacks that like Mahomes, he just doesn't take big hits. You can't dive at his knees, so you like you can't touch his head. Like he's gonna be healthy. And then there's other quarterbacks that I think are gonna come in there. So I think in our lifetime we see this 15 get broken, and it probably is by Mahomes. So I think we're in agreement that it's not unbreakable. It's not the wow factor. So
yeah, it doesn't have that wow factor like you said of some of the other ones that we've already added to the list.
oh man, that's amazing. We managed to find a Tom Brady one that
Can't get in though. Yeah.
that one thing we
I'll,
can't get. Yeah.
we'll find
So
one and get him in there for sure. He deserves it.
wouldn't that be amazing if we just kept finding the ones that
Yeah,
don't quite make it? Brady, there's four of them and just missed out. So All right, so Tom Brady, most conference championships, championship appearances, 14. Doesn't quite make it. That is, I mean, even 10, 15 years ago, you would have, if we would have done this 10, 15 years ago, I bet we would have said no way. Like, if we would have
Oh,
done it before Mahomes, wouldn't we have just been like, no, no way?
yeah.
No. But,
Yeah, exactly. But once you have a guy that's been to six straight, though, basically been there every year of his, every full season of his career, and he's only 28. And then we highlighted how he just made it there with a season where, the Chiefs relied on their defense a lot this year compared to usual. Um, Actually, you were beating that drum from the beginning of the season, how much
yeah.
improved their defense was, and how they were going to have to rely on that over their offense. And like I said, without Tyreek Hill, it's not the same offense, but they're going to retool over the years and they're just going to keep building around Mahomes.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So, all right. Well, that's our unbreakable sports record. I asked the comment section to put in there like if you want to come on and talk about one. So I haven't received an email from someone. If you guys want to email me and come on and talk about a nominee, please let me know. We've had some really, really good suggestions. Just email me. It's bumprunsports@gmail.com. Bumprunsports@gmail.com. Email me. All you need is a camera and a microphone. It can be the mic that's on your camera. It's not that big of a deal. But we'd love to have other people come on. So we've had some great ones, but just haven't had anybody reach out. So please leave us a comment. Tell us what your best one is, and we'd love to have you on there. So. All right, guys, that is going to do it for us. Don't forget, $5 Appreciation Day on Wednesday. Steve and I both have NHL plays that are up. Only $5. Go take advantage of that at WagerTalk.com. Hit the like button. Leave us a comment. Good luck at your plays. We'll see you over next time on the Road to Millions.
Good luck.